Actually, it looked quite good for movie fans this year, but as was already announced, DC fans in particular will now have to bite the bullet. Despite the success of The Batman, it was decided to postpone some movies. No longer released this year will be The Flash and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Instead, DC will only release 3 movies this year, including DC League of Super Pets on July 29, 2022, Black Adam on October 21, 2022, and Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods on December 16th, 2022. At least that's good news for fans of Shazam 2, as that has been moved up from 2023 to this year. Next year, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom will probably be released on March 17th, The Flash on June 23rd, as well as the 2 Warner Brothers movies Meg 2 The Trench on August 4th and Wonka on December 15th. But you shouldn't be too sad, because we can still expect all kinds of blockbusters from Marvel, as well as the last Jurassic World part on June 10th, 2022. The new The Batman with Robert Pattinson is getting mostly positive reviews these days and is already a complete success. In addition to the rumors about a planned trilogy with Pattinson, there's now also official information about other projects from the same universe. It had been known for a while that The Batman would be the start of a new universe of its own, consisting not only of movies, but also of series. One of them was the series titled Gotham Central, which was supposed to take place in Bruce Wayne's first year as Batman and thus a bit before the events of the Batman. The focus would have been a police officer of the Gotham City Police Department, but as Matt Reeves recently announced in a conversation with the Cyber Nerds, the direction of the series is probably changing fundamentally. The project he has planned will now focus on the infamous Arkham Asylum. The series is supposed to resemble a horror movie and offer a fresh perspective on the characters incarcerated there, which traditionally consist of villains like the Riddler, Joker, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, and co. In addition, the Asylum is one of the favorite places of Batman fans, whether in one of the numerous video games or in various movies and series. Nothing is known yet about the exact plot, but it could of course be that we'll be dealing with an escape attempt from the Asylum. A second DCEU series is also in the works. This project will also feature a villain none other than Penguin. After the events of The Batman, the mobster, who is superbly portrayed by Colin Farrell, sees his chance has come to grab for supremacy in Gotham City. In addition to some flashbacks, the main focus will be on how the unscrupulous gangster develops into the boss of bosses. Again, the Batman director Matt Reeves has his eye on the production, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. writer Lauren LeFranc is responsible as showrunner. We are definitely looking forward to both series and new news from the Batman universe. Unfortunately, there's no start date for either project yet. It is only known that the Penguin series will be filmed in the near future. A few days ago, the US magazine Deadline announced that a late sequel to the end-time movie I Am Legend was in the works. Almost 15 years after the first part, this announcement was extremely surprising, but there is even more information about the cast already. According to this lead actor, Will Smith will return as Dr. Robert Neville, which certainly inspires speculation considering his fate at the end of I Am Legend. The most likely theory is that the alternate ending of I Am Legend will be seen as canon and built upon similar to the book. In the movie ending, Neville sacrifices himself to allow Anna and Ethan to escape. In the alternate ending, Neville realizes that the test subject he kidnapped is the partner of the infected leader, and that is the reason they are attacking his house. He realized that the creatures are intelligent, communicate with each other, and live in their own social groupings. This makes him the real villain even with his experiments. As a result, he breaks off his research and travels to Vermont with Anna and Ethan, where he realized that he's not as righteous as he thought. In addition to Will Smith, there is also fresh support from Black Panther star Michael B. Jordan, who will slip into a yet unknown role. The two also make a good team behind the camera, as they will also serve as producers of I Am Legend 2. The script comes from I Am Legend and Sacrilege author Akiva Goldsman. We're definitely looking forward to the late I Am Legend sequel and will, of course, keep you up to date on further news about the plot or the start date. March 9th, evening. Suddenly, a shock to the Force. The long-awaited teaser trailer for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series appears, and millions of fan hearts cry out with joy. The overwhelming reactions are extremely positive. Many had been looking forward to a reunion with Ewan McGregor in his parade role, as he is one of the most popular characters of the Star Wars series. The series is set a good 10 years after Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. In the trailer, we see Obi-Wan hiding on Tatooine, watching over a young Luke Skywalker from afar. But disaster is on the way. The Empire does not sleep and sends out the dreaded Inquisitors to hunt down the last remaining Jedi. Obviously, the series is not limited to the desert planet. We see sinister fellows on their opponents in all sorts of places talking lightsabers and blasters. One voice talks about how the Jedi can't help but feel compassion. So what would be more obvious than committing atrocities against civilians to draw them out? Fans can look forward to a reunion with Joel Edgerton as Luke's uncle Owen Lars, among others, who witnesses the atrocities in the trailer. Obi-Wan will have to decide, intervene and fight the Empire, or stand down to avoid putting Luke in danger. By the way, nothing could be seen of Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader in the trailer, but the distinctive breathing can be clearly heard at the end and makes you want more. The start date for the Star Wars series Obi-Wan Kenobi is May 25th, 2022 on Disney+. We have a pretty darn good feeling about this one. To date, Denis Villeneuve's science fiction epic Dune has grossed almost $400 million and was also very well received by critics. Fortunately, it has been clear for some time that the blockbuster will get at least one, if not two, sequels. Production on Dune 2 has been underway for several weeks now, and slowly but surely the first news about potential new additions is emerging. As Deadline reports, a Marvel star is currently in talks for a role, and that is Black Widow star Florence Pugh. The 26-year-old is currently in negotiations with Warner Brothers allegedly for the role of Princess Irulan Corino. The character should be familiar to connoisseurs of Frank Herbert's books, since she is the daughter of Emperor Shaddam Corino IV. In the book, Princess Irulan is more of a minor character, acting primarily as the author of the recurring history book that appears at the beginning of each chapter. She does take on a larger role in the later course. However, if Denis Villeneuve's narrative pace matches that of Part 1, she will only become important in a potential third part. This doesn't seem completely hopeless. After all, director Villeneuve definitely has plans to produce a third and this final movie. In any case, we are looking forward to more news about Dune 2 and the release date of October 20th, 2023. Alien from 1979 was nothing less than a milestone in the science fiction genre and still regularly inspires movie lovers all over the world. Unfortunately, after the first two parts, the aspirations of movie critics and fans could not really be met, and the sequels drew mediocre reviews at most. The two prequels, Prometheus and Alien Covenant excluded, even the planned fifth part with director Neil Blomkamp and the return of Michael Biehn and Sigourney Weaver probably did not meet the requirements for a successful Alien movie. The project was rumored to have been scrapped by order of Ridley Scott. As the Hollywood Reporter now reports, the 84-year-old Scott wants to produce a completely new movie in collaboration with Evil Dead director Fede Alvarez. The director, who's at home in the horror genre, certainly has a knack for suspenseful movies, as he impressively proved with the thriller Don't Breathe. The project is supposed to stand completely on its own and have no connection to the predecessors, which could please the fans of the franchise. The type of release is seen much more critically because Alvarez's new movie is not to be released in theaters, but on the streaming service Hulu. In countries where Hulu does not exist, we expect a release on Disney+, similar to many other Hulu exclusives. Unfortunately, the release date of the new Alien movie is not yet known. Everyone knows the little Italian wooden figure whose nose keeps growing when he lies. Sure, we're talking about Pinocchio. This character has been part of Disney's movie universe since 1940 and will be getting a new live-action movie version on Disney Plus this year. Fittingly, there was already a first picture of the two main characters, Pinocchio and Mr. Geppetto. While the wooden boy gets his voice lent by 13-year-old Benjamin Evan Ainsworth and is of course CG animated, Hollywood superstar Tom Hanks plays the kindly old woodcarver. At first glance, the closeness to the original is striking. After all, in the past, Disney often made the decision to give old familiar characters a completely new coat of paint in favor of diversity and variety. Pinocchio and Geppetto, on the other hand, look as if they came straight out of the animated movie adaptation, which has made many fans optimistic. The script is by Rogue One, Star Wars story writer Chris Weitz, while Robert Zemeckis is responsible for directing. An exact release date for Disney Plus is not yet known, but those responsible have announced that it will be in September. In 2005, Sony undisputedly launched one of the most celebrated game series of all time with God of War. After the last installment of 2018, which is considered by many to be the best game of all time, celebrated countless successes, it was only a matter of time before we would see Kratos in a movie or a series adaptation. According to a report from Deadline, Amazon is currently in negotiations with Sony about a series with the Greek demigod. If the deal does go through, The Expanse producers Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby, as well as the Wheel of Time showrunner Rafe Judkins, are said to be in charge. Of course, it will be too early to speculate on plot or characters appearing, as the series adaptation has yet to be officially announced. Either way, Amazon is moving further and further in the direction of video game adaptations. We already reported, for example, on a Mass Effect and a Fallout series, both of which are already in production. That's it for this week's news. We can also recommend our latest original about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And of course, you can find the brand new trailer for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on our channel, so be sure to check it out. May the Force be with you. Till next week.